Well, hello, scrappers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. I have a box. Where did the box come from, you ask? Well, let's take a close-up look at the shipping label on the box and see if we can figure out where it came from. MBMM LLC. That's right. This box came from Jason over at Mount Baker Mining and Metals. Now, you probably know who he is if you watch my channel, or at least have heard of him. He's got a huge channel. And what Jason is doing is he is selling off some of the gold ore that he is pulling out of his gold mine out there. And I bought some, and we're going to test it out here and see just how much gold there is in this. Now, Jason is selling 25-pound boxes of his gold ore. It gives us an opportunity to see what's coming out of his mine without traveling over there and actually going underground and digging. So I think this will be interesting. Now, Jason may or may not know who I am from my channel. We have had a little bit of contact back and forth over the years. But I doubt he would know who I am from my eBay username. And I bought this on eBay. Jason is selling this stuff on eBay. I'll give you a look at his listing on eBay, and I'll put a link to it down in the video description in case you want to buy some. So apparently he sold quite a bit of this. At the time I bought this, he was up to 522 packages of gold ore, each one about 25 pounds. So let's see here. If I do the math on that, well, mine would be 523. So 523 times 25 equals 13,075 pounds of gold ore. Wow, 13,075. Jason, wow, you are doing a land office business there. Wow. Okay, I need to get me a gold mine. All right. I mean, even if I'm not making a lot of money on the gold, I'm making a lot of money selling the ore here. So Jason's listing, as far as I can tell, does not guarantee any kind of return on investment on this stuff. So, whatever we get out of it is what we get out of it. And there's no guarantees. And really, I bought it just for the fun of it. I'd recently sold some expensive equipment on eBay and had a little cash on hand. So I decided to take a chance and buy some of Jason's ore. Let's get a look at it here. Then we'll talk a little bit about my plans for processing it. And like I say, Jason doesn't know I bought this stuff, so there's no chance that he would have salted it or anything. So this would be pretty much the same stuff you'd get if you ordered it from him and he had no clue who you are. Looks like ready stained quartz, maybe? Let me wash some off here. Not so much quartz, no. Although this stuff here looks like quartz. I better not. Yeah, that's definitely quartz. Ooh, it's got some mineralization in it. So what I need to do probably, I got to be careful about washing the dirt off of this because the dirt could very well have gold in it. So I don't want to do that. So what I probably need to do is first thing is sift the fines out of this, wash the rocks down, and pan out the fines and the stuff that comes off the rocks. And then check out the rocks here and see if we see any visible gold in them. And how much gold we get out of the fines and the stuff we wash off the rocks. So let me get set up for that. There's another piece of quartz. So let me get set up for that. Interesting looking quartz. So let me get set up for that, and we will see if we can find some gold in Jason's ore here. Hopefully there's at least a little bit. All right, be back when I'm set up to do something. All right, the first thing I think I want to do is I want to separate out the fines from the big rocks here and wash the rocks. And then from the liquid in the and from the water that we wash the rocks in, we'll get yet more fines. So, and then we can pan out the fines and see if we've got anything good here. It was nice of Jason to double bag this, so that any of the fine material that comes through this bag, and a lot of fine material will come through this type of bag, is captured in the plastic garbage bag. Thank you, Jason. That was nice of you. All right, so I've got a quarter inch, or I've got a 1/4 inch screen on here. What am I seeing on this thing? Something shiny, but it might just be a quartz crystal. I've got a 1/4 inch screen on top here and a 1/10 inch screen down below. And of course, the fines are going into a bucket. So the fines we can pan out immediately. Put these rocks in this bucket of water over here. We'll wash them, and we'll have a look at them and see. This is a nice mineralization on it. We'll look at them and see if we can see any gold in them, any specimens. Certainly a lot of mineralization in that piece. You could see it even before I washed it. This looks like barren gold quartz here. So we'll look through these, see what it looks like. And these smaller pieces, we can probably crush up with either the Mighty Mill or the Smash-O-Matic, and pan out the result. And this all looks like it would go through the Mighty Mill or the Smash-O-Matic. I'll get another bucket to put this stuff in. Along with this stuff. And that can all get further treatment. And well, this stuff and whatever's remaining in the mud in the bottom of this bucket, we'll be able to pan out immediately. So let me find another container, dump these out, and we'll sieve the rest of it. Here we go. I'm just going to dump these two fractions together. Every once in a while, I see something shiny in one of these rocks. Yeah, I don't see it now that I've washed it. And I'll just keep this up until I get through all of this material, which probably isn't going to take too long. Uh-oh. You know what that is? That's a piece of fuse for when Jason was blasting this stuff out of the mountain. That's a piece of fuse. So as I've seen before in other gold ore I've processed, we're probably going to find bits of blasting caps and blasting wire in here too. So there may be some bits of brass from the blasting caps. There may be some copper wire in here. I've seen that in ore from other mines where they've blasted the ore out of the ground. So very possible. Seeing fuse, we'll probably see the other stuff. Anything that looks like it's too big to go through the Mighty Mill or the Smash-O-Matic is going to need some further processing. And that's got a nice seam of mineralization in it right there, that piece of quartz. That was actually small enough to go through them. And these are all probably small enough. be getting plenty of finds. Oh yeah, we'll be able to do some panning here in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. I'm just going to keep up what I'm doing right here. Just sifting and sorting. All right, I'm all done. I've got the smaller pieces in here. This stuff all needs to be reground so it can be panned out or sluiced out. I've got the fines in here, and there were quite a bit of fines in this garbage bag. Super fine stuff that made it through the mesh of this bag, especially as the package got beat to crap as it was going through the postal system. A lot of fines came out of there, so there's enough here for a couple good pans. And then in here, of course, we've got all the rocks that are too big to do anything with at this stage. Probably we'll look through these and decide, look through them good and see if you see any kind of specimen gold in them or anything. See if any are worth cutting with the lapidary saw. And others probably just get crushed up. Those are small enough to go in that bucket. Maybe that one too. And we'll have more fines to pan or sluice out. Yeah, it's mostly barren quartz, but it's got a few little veins of stuff in it. That's a big piece of quartz right there. Looks like it's got a little bit of stuff in it, but not much. Might want to sort through these and decide, how many of them I think are actually worth processing. Probably not going to do too much with the barren quartz, but the heavily mineralized stuff, that's a different story. We'll probably crush that up and pan or sluice it out. Okay, so let me get set up for that. We will at least get some panning done in this video and have a look at some of these rocks in here that I've had cleaned the dirt off of. And maybe in another video, we'll start crushing up this other stuff and seeing if we can get any values out of it. If we find any values in here, we'll know it's worth the effort. All right, so let me set up a panning station. All right, let's take a look at these rocks that went through this bucket to wash, okay? And I've got some mud down here that I can add to our first pan to pan out too. There might be some gold in these fines down here. So this is the dirt that I washed off these rocks, these big rocks. And I've kind of segregated them into three piles. We've got a pile here, we've got a pile here, and we've got a pile back here. And I think they represent the vein that Jason is working in his mind. This pile down here, this looks like wall rock to one side of the vein. It might have quartz on one edge of it, like this one's got quartz up here on this edge. This one's got some quartz on this edge, in towards the vein. This one's got quartz on this edge. The rest of it, it's like iron-stained country rock. This one got some quartz right there, facing in towards the vein, and so on and so forth. This part right here, I think, represents the part of the quartz vein that Jason is aiming for that contains the values, okay? And then this up here just looks like more quartz, barren quartz, though. Iron stained, not mineralized. Looks pretty barren, although I will have to look at it a little closer because I have found some gold in this stuff already. I see some gold in some of it. This piece over here, and I will try to get some shots of this with the macro on my phone. I don't know if it's going to work. There's a lot of shiny yellow sulfides in this, but there are some flecks of gold in there too, in this one. This piece over here, though, has a really big fleck of gold in it, and a couple more too. So I will really try and get you a macro view with the phone on these. I need to look at the rest of these a lot closer with my loupe. I see a lot of sulfides in them. It looks like iron pyrite, iron sulfide, chalcopyrite, maybe some other sulfides too. But there could be some gold hiding in amongst all those sulfides, and there could be gold chemically bound inside the sulfides too. So I will try to get you a look at it. And I haven't even inspected all of these rocks closely with the loop yet. Just a few, and I found, good gold in these two and possible gold in one of these others. So we got some gold here, so that's good to know. The real question is, what am I going to want to process down the road? Certainly, I'll process all the fines. That's going to be easy enough. I will probably crush all the really small stuff up and process it. That's going to be fairly easy. Out of these three groups, though, I'm thinking I want to work the stuff in the middle here. This is the quartz that actually is pretty well mineralized that I think Jason was going after. I don't really think there's going to be much in this barren stuff, although I will look at it close with my loop again. And I don't think there's going to be anything of value in this wall rock down here, although on the edge that has some of the quartz vein in it, there might be something. So, got to inspect them. Anyway, let me see if I can get you a close-up of the gold I'm seeing in these rocks, and then we'll pan out the finds and decide where to go from there. All right, you see that gold right there? I saw that right away. I didn't even need my loop to see that. But if I look at this with my loop, these dark colored veins in here, I see some other little flecks of gold up in there. I can't really tell if they're showing up on the phone because I'm out in the bright sunlight with the phone. But that big one right there, and that is a fairly big one, is not the only piece of gold in this little rock. There is more gold in this rock than just that one. Yeah, this other rock, I don't know if they're going to show up. They're pretty small. But we got a vein of sulfides in here. And in it, I see little flecks of gold here and there. That's not all sulfides. Some of that is gold. So we found some gold already in Jason's ore. And all I've done is sifted out and washed the rocks. So I'm taking that as a good sign. Maybe there's a good amount of gold in this stuff. I guess we'll have to find out. Yeah, I imagine if I was to wash all these small rocks and look at them with the loop, I'd find a lot more gold. Some of them I may want to inspect with the loop before I crush them up, just in case I can find any specimen pieces. That would be nice. But boy, there's a lot of rocks in here that would need to be looked at. I'll have to give that some thought. All right, let's pan out some of these finds and see if we can find some more gold before the end of the day today. I think I've got everything I need. I got a couple of pans over here. I've got my loop so I can see if there's anything good in the pan. My snuffer bottle so I can suck up anything good. I got some jet dry to keep the surface tension down on the water so that fine gold doesn't float. I've got our muddy fines from washing the rocks, and I've got our powder fines over here that we've sifted off the stuff. So this is what I'm going to pan out over here. So let me reposition the camera so we can see what's going on over here in the panning tub, and we'll get started. All right, so let's get this muddy stuff out of here. Here. And a rock hiding in there. There it is. Set that aside for processing later. And we'll throw some of this stuff in here too. That's a pretty good pan, I'm thinking. See what we got here. Hopeful. You know what I forgot though? I forgot the jet dry. I know some of you are yelling at your screen in there, telling me I forgot the jet dry, I'm sure. Yep. It helps. Break up that water surface tension. All right. Let's see what we've got. First pan of these fines. Get it all good and stratified. I want it. The gold's going to be the heaviest thing in this pan. So by agitating it like this is good. The mud down here becomes fluidized, and the heavy stuff sinks down through it to the bottom. And I want it to sink down to the bottom right at the base. You know, imagine it sinking down to the bottom of the pan and winding up in this crease here, only on this side. That's where I want the gold to be. Any other heavy minerals. And then, once I think I've got it sufficiently agitated, I just wash the lighter stuff off the top. That's the way panning works. I'm going to wash across the built-in riffles on this pan just to catch anything that might want to escape. Stop after a little washing, re-agitate, and wash some more. That's pretty much all there is to panning. A little bit of finesse in the final stages, but it's pretty easy. Anybody can be taught how to pan. Some people are very intimidated by it, but you don't have to be. It's super simple. Very old technology. All he needs a little water, some dirt that may or may not contain gold. You'll find out soon enough whether there's any gold in that dirt. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of black sand in this stuff. There's a little bit, but not a whole lot. I expect there will be a lot of heavy sulfides, though, from looking at the rocks. There's a lot of veins of sulfides in them. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of heavy sulfides in this pan. Yeah, I think some of that black stuff, that's sulfides. Ah, I see some gold. There's a little gold peeking out. Let me see if I can get you a look at that with my phone real quick. See that little bit of gold right there? I'll bet he has friends underneath this rest of this sand and sulfides too. Let me pan this down some more and we'll see. In fact, a little bit of gold right down there too. Okay. There is some gold in this stuff. Great. Yeah, I'll just bet there's more than that one piece in there. Let me clean this up a little bit more, and we shall see. That's a pretty big piece, too. That's not flour gold. That's some fairly large stuff there. Okay. Let's see what we've got in this pan here. Carefully walk this lighter stuff back. The heavier stuff up top. And tap the heaviest stuff up to the very top. I see lots of sparklies. Yeah, there's some gold over here. There's lots of sparkly sulfides, but there's definitely some gold in here too. Yeah. We can find the gold. See one little piece trying to peek out there in the middle. It's a perfect spot for it too. Stay there. Yeah, there's another big piece. A couple more. Oh yeah. There'd be gold in this pan. Oh, those sulfides are really heavy. They don't want to move. I slosh the water around enough to get them to move. Whoa, the gold goes moving with them. Get you back all over here where you belong. That's bad practice to use your fingers to move the gold around. I shouldn't do that. A little bit of body oil on the gold, it might float away, which is very annoying. But wow, yeah. Let me take a quick look and count the pieces of gold in there. And I'm trying to give you a close-up look at them. So that wasn't very much material. That was just, a little of the gunge I washed off the rocks and some of the fines we got. Oh wow, there's a lot of gold there. A couple of fairly big pieces and a whole lot of small ones. I will take this out in the sun and try and get an image of it with my phone. That's some pretty big gold. I think the macro on my phone will be able to see this without too much trouble. Okay, we're getting lucky here. It's been gloomy kind of all day, but the sun's trying to come out. So you can see that big piece of gold without any trouble, and there's another piece right next to it there, but all this stuff right up against the base of the pan right there, that's all gold. Dozens and dozens of pieces of gold there. I don't know how well they're showing up on the phone because I'm out in the sun, but yeah, there's dozens of pieces of gold, and they extend off this way too. Basically the stuff right up against the wall of the pan there, that's pretty much all gold. And then further back we got a lot of sulfides. A lot of heavy sulfides there. So cool. Got some gold here. Alright, I guess we're off to a good start. Let me get this gold in this pan sucked up in my snuffer bottle for safekeeping. There we go. Okay. And we will try panning out some more of this stuff. If we can find any more gold. And that's about enough for now. We got one more pan after this. So let's see here. We can do that again. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a nice picker. A couple of those pieces of gold were pretty big, but I don't think they were quite picker size, although picker is kind of a subjective term amongst prospectors. I think basically if it's big enough you can pick it up with your fingers, it's a picker. If it's small enough you have to suck it up with your snuffer bottle, it's not a picker. That's my opinion anyway. So I would say those were not quite picker size, those two big ones in there. Let's see if we can find some more gold in this stuff. Like I said, Jason specifically says there's no guarantee of how much gold you'll find, so not expecting to make my money back, but just maybe we can have enough fun to make it worthwhile. And it's always fun to see gold in your pan. All right? Good practice for the next time I'm out on the rivers and creeks in the West. Colorado, Arizona, Wyoming, gold country of California. Hey, right now I got a buddy who's up in North Carolina panning on the creeks and rivers and finding some gold too. He wants me to come up there and pan with him. We'll see if I can get away. Got a busy spring planned, unfortunately. Actually, a busy year of travel. Another busy year of travel. There's those dark. I thought that was black sands at first, but I think it's some sort of dark sulfide. They look like dark crystals. Not quite blackish in color. Maybe just sort of a hint of reddishness to them, whatever the heck they are. They don't look like garnets, though, so I'm not sure exactly what is in this ore. I'll try and get a close-up look at them in this pan and see if I can figure out what we're dealing with here. Right off, I'm seeing gold peek out again. I gotta stratify this better. Yeah. Get that gold down to the bottom where it belongs. And wash stuff off the top. Is that gold? Let's see. Yeah, there is some gold there. Yeah, there's gold there, but there's something else shiny in there. I'll bet it is. I wonder if Jason ran this stuff through his crushing operation, because there's some bits of shiny metal in there. Not gold, probably steel, I would imagine, from his jaw crusher or his hammer mill or something. But there is definitely some gold in there, too. I see that. But we got some other stuff. Oh, yeah, there's a big piece of gold popping out right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and lots of little ones, too. It's another good pan. Yeah, and then these heavy sulfides, they don't want to move. They want to hang out right up there with the gold. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's some steel or something in there. Some sort of shiny metal, along with the gold and along with the sulfides. I can walk the gold up and the sulfides down, and we get a look at what all's in here. Now this pan's got a lot of something in it that's not gold. I don't know. I suppose the remote possibility it could be electrum, which is basically an alloy of gold that has a lot of silver in it. But what are the odds I'm that lucky? I don't know. It's probably just steel from Jason's jaw crusher. This stuff was good and dry when I got it, so it maybe hasn't had a chance to rust. Ooh, there's quite a line of gold developing in this pan. Wow. Okay. This pan is better than the last one by far. Let me let me give you a look at that before I screw up that perfect line of gold in there. So let me get my phone out. I'll give you a close-up look. Wow, there's a lot of gold in this pan. This is a great pan. There's one fairly big flake right there in the middle too. I will try and isolate that one and get a picture of it for you. But wow, yeah, there's a lot of gold in this pan. Not bad. Well, this is getting better and better. All right. This stuff sucked up. Get it safely put away in the snuffer bottle here. And it looks like we got enough over here in this bucket for one more pan, I'm thinking. Come on. Good to the last drop. Get it all out of there. Alrighty. Yeah, until I get this stuff good and wet, it does kind of want to float a little bit. Jet dry is helping. There we go. Get all the clods out of it. Get everything in pan good and wet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that stuff I'm seeing in there is probably steel. I should probably take a magnet to it and see. I got my magnet around here somewhere. I guess if it doesn't stick to the magnet, it could be electrum. Awfully shiny for steel, whatever it is, but it looks like steel. It could be like chrome steel or something. I don't know. Getting down to it again. I'm starting to see those black sulfides again. Yeah, I don't pan as fast as some people. I generally do still manage to get wet while doing it, though. Like Jeff Williams says, yeah, you're going to get wet. Well, yeah, I'm a little bit wet, even though I don't quite sling water around as fast as he does. Everybody's got their own panning style. I tend to not be in too much of a hurry because I'm usually panning concentrates. You know, panning is not generally a production method. I'll be out on a creek in Colorado or Wyoming or something, and we'll be shoveling, my wife and I maybe will be shoveling a lot of dirt through a sluice box and get the concentrates out of the sluice box, and I'll very carefully and slowly pan out the concentrates. Yeah, there's some more of that shiny steel, but I see gold too. Yeah, a lot of gold in this pan. Or there could be a lot of gold. I see some peeking out anyway. Let me re-stratify it. Yeah, there's that shiny stuff, and there's some gold peeking out. But when I'm panning the concentrates, I'm slow and careful because if you screw up, you can lose a lot of gold because they're concentrates. They've had the gold concentrated, you know? Hence the name. So right now, what I've managed to do is concentrate the heavies from that pan full of material into this pan, and I'm trying to separate the lighter stuff off the top. Keep the gold on the bottom where it belongs. Get my magnet. See what in there sticks to it, because I'm curious. Yeah, I want to see if that stuff is steel. Oh, yeah. I'd say that is steel. We may have sucked up a little gold with the steel, though. Let's see. Yeah, so that's steel. That's probably, like I said, yeah, that is steel. That's probably, like I said, from Jason's crushing equipment. You know, when you're crushing the rocks, you wear down the steel hammers in the equipment while you're doing it. Let's see, there's some other stuff over there that looks a little different. Now that is not attracted to the magnet. There's some shiny stuff in there. Looks like steel, but that is not attracted to the magnet. I wonder if that could be electrum. I don't know. Huh. Very interesting. Let me see if I can give you a close-up look at that steel-looking stuff before I wash my way down to the gold. Yeah, there's a piece there. There's a piece up there. Another piece there. Another piece down there. A couple little ones up there. Now, they could be lead. They could very well just be lead. But they're awfully shiny for lead. I've seen lead in my pan before, and it's usually not this shiny. This stuff is really shiny. I don't know. But let me go finish washing this stuff back and let's see how much gold's hiding underneath it. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really look like lead to me. I guess it could be shiny lead. Usually lead oxidizes just to a dull finish pretty darn quickly. There's not so much gold in this pan as there was in the last one. Well, I mean, there's a lot of pieces of gold, but there's no big flakes like in the last two. I mean, there's a lot of little tiny flour gold in here. I'm developing quite a line of it in here, but yeah, we're missing the big flakes of the last two pans. Well, hey, every pan can't be, a superstar. We're getting some gold. And we haven't even got into the bulk of the material yet. This is just the little bit that's sloughed off. All right, let me give you a close-up look at this. Yeah, so once again, we got a nice line of gold across there, just without the big chunks that we've seen up till now. Still, there's a lot of gold there. Again, from, tiny, barely visible in the loop up to that chunk there roughly in the middle. That's maybe, I don't know, big sand grain size. So this stuff's pretty small. A lot of it, though. I'd be happy to find this out on a creek in a single shovel full of dirt. So I'd be happy. So, as per usual, let me get this stuff safely sucked up in the snuffer bottle. All right. Make sure I've got all of it. All right. I do believe I've got all the gold out of this pan now. Yeah. All right. Good deal. Okay. So, what do we want to do next? Well, next, I need to work on making this stuff small enough to pan. So I've got the minus 1/4 stuff. So I've got the stuff that went through the 4 holes to the inch screen. Um, that'll be fairly easy to crush up into a powder. I can just feed that into one of my mills and it'll turn it into powder in no time. Then I've got this stuff over here, which was bigger than the 1/4 inch screen. And some of those pieces are pretty darn big. They'll have to be fed into my mills a little more judiciously. And some of those rocks in there might have good visible gold on them. They might be specimens. I might want to sort through that a little better and see if there's any good specimens in there. But yeah, I think the next step is going to be grinding this stuff up. And this is the easy stuff. We'll do this stuff before we move on to the big rocks that were in there. So, but before we do either, I think we're going to have to bring this video to a close, and we'll work on this in the next video and see how much gold we get out of these two fractions of Jason's gold ore. I think we're off to a good start with just panning out the finds. I think we're going to find a lot more gold in this stuff once we start crushing rocks. I really do. So, hey, I'm happy. If you guys are happy with this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. There'll be more on dealing with Jason's ore and lots of other gold-related stuff out here. Gold recovery from e-waste and whatnot. So subscribe to see those future videos. Check out my 2 other channels, Electric Geek 64 and Mike's Lapidarian Fossils. There's good stuff going on there too. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.